really should have waited. You took this fight too early.
Yo, too, we're back again with some more boxing news in the boxing world. We got some breaking news. Gary Jonas, Lamont Roach's promoter, says this rematch is a done deal. It's over with. It is going down second time around.
How soon is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big...
Stephen A. Smith has shared a strong opinion, warning GervontaDavis not to have a rematch with Lamont Roach.
Having said that, let me stand up. Shannon, Ocho, I got to apologize on national television to that brother Lamont Roach. I didn't give him much of a chance in this fight because I thought he was the smaller guy moving up. I didn't expect him to be in the ring bigger. And from opening bell, he walked right to Tank Davis. I was stunned. And the brother can fight. I'm very impressed with Lamont Roach. He put on a great performance, and he wants his love on national television right now. We need to give it to him. This brother is special for the sport of boxing. He can fight, and he can take...
Stephen A. Smith recently apologized to Lamont Roach for underestimating him before his fight against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. At first, Smith thought Roach was too small to compete. However, after watching the fight and seeing how Roach kept pressuring Davis, Smith admitted he was wrong. He praised Roach's toughness and fighting skills, especially when Davis took a knee in the 9th round, claiming hair grease got in his eyes. Now, Smith sees Roach as a...
Stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to GervontaDavis. Walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to GervontaDavis. GervontaDavis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punches, left hook, straight rights. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout.
Strong and serious fighter, and he's looking forward to a possible rematch later this year. On March the 1st, 2025, GervontaDavis defended his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The fight was highly anticipated, with Davis as the favorite because of his undefeated record and knockout power. However, Roach considered the
1,500 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money.
Most controversial moment of the fight happened in the 9th round, when GervontaDavis took a knee, saying he couldn't see properly because grease from his hair got into his eyes. Referee Steve Willis did not count it as a knockdown, a decision that many people have criticized. The fight ended with one judge scoring it 115-113 for Davis, while the other two judges scored it 114-114, resulting in a majority draw. This allowed Davis to keep his title, but the result quickly sparked debate about whether the decision was fair.
From a division lower moves up and gives Tank Davis his toughest fight. I thought beating him on the inside, making him miss, putting offense behind defense after making him miss, being more active. Obviously, Tank's going to have the edge in power. Tank is going to have the edge in power strikes. I think ultimately the stats spoke to that. I don't think that this was a disaster. I think it'd be strong to call it a disaster. The fight was not great up front. The fight was not great in the middle, but it was very good. Not amazing, but definitely.
Lamont Roach Jr., has strongly expressed his wish for a rematch with Gervonta "Tank" Davis after their controversial majority draw on March 1st at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. The fight ended with one judge scoring it 115-113 for Davis, while the other two judges had it even at 114-114. A key moment in the fight happened in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, saying his eye was irritated, but referee Steve Willis did not call it a knockdown.
Boxing fan, that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
After the fight, Lamont Roach's team appealed the decision, but the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the draw. As a result of the controversial outcome, GervontaDavis was removed from Ring Magazine's Pound.
No timeouts in boxing. Why are you taking? You know that. You should know that. So that's the thing where I'm like confused because that's supposed to be a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round. If that's a 10-8 round, I win the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that draw turned into a 115-114 my way.
Confident that he won the fight, Lamont Roach immediately called for a rematch. He stated, "I hope to be a multi-divisional world champion, and this is a fight that will help build the legacy I want to leave behind."
It's a controversial draw against Lamont Roach. 2025 NYC. Both men start the fight wrapped in caution tape while downloading using their powerful Intel Core processors. Tank then begins playing a game of Tom and Jerry as he scurries around the ring, baiting Roach to chase him. Lamont soon starts landing sharp counters as he times Tank, who's dropping low. But Gervonta's cannon straight left soon finds its way home like it's using Google Maps. However, Roach also continues touching Tank with counters during their exchanges. But the Baltimore native's straight left keeps repeatedly connecting like AT&T, walloping Lamont as he angles around him with the geometric brilliance of Pythagoras. By round 6, though, Davis has taken control by investing in the breadbasket like he's a Stella Doro stockholder, while also cracking Roach's Liberty Bell like they're in Philly. But at this point, Lamont's titanium-dipped chin is rearing.
Roach Jr. added to the controversy by posting a cryptic but confident message on social media. His tweet read, "Word round the block, your all-favorite fight Finey 30-1301 2XX2 division champ." The post quickly caught the attention of boxing fans. Many believe Roach was hinting that he expects a positive outcome from his appeal and suggesting that GervontaDavis's undefeated record might soon come to an end.
With my performance, I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won. And I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds, and even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. So, you know, I don't think there's any excuse for me not to win tonight, but that's just how the cookie crumbled.
There's a few things I want to dissect about the fight. Let's just start off with the beginning. It seemed like a little bit of a cagey opening on both behalves, both of you just trying to figure each other out. What was your initial thoughts of those first 3, 4, 5 rounds whilst you were both getting to grips with each other?
Just getting the information, seeing how he reacted to certain stuff. I'm pretty sure he was trying to do the same thing. And you know, he's an excellent fighter. He's undefeated for a reason. But a 97% knockout. I mean, it ain't that no more. But you know what I'm saying. But with a 90% knockout ratio and everything like that, you know. It take a little thinking in there. It's a thinking man's game.
Critics argue that GervontaDavis intentionally took a knee in the 9th round against Lamont Roach to break his opponent's rhythm and regain control of the fight. They believe Davis went down on purpose to buy himself a few extra seconds to recover rather than risk being overwhelmed by Roach's aggressive attacks. Many fans and analysts see this as a veteran tactic meant to stop Roach's momentum.
I think that knee that Tank took was because Lamont Roach was in a rhythm and GervontaDavis tried to throw this man off a rhythm. Do I believe the Murray's, Sport Waves, the Soul Glow was in his eye? Absolutely not. I believe that man Tank got nerve-eyed and said, hold on, this man Lamont Roach is cooking. I need to take me a quick timeout and a quick break. It's nasty. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's bad enough how hard and difficult it is to beat this man. Most fighters is weight drained. Most fighters has clauses on them. So when somebody who's coming up is able to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis, you handicap the man with trash.
GervontaDavis explained that the incident in the 9th round happened because of a hair treatment he had 2 days before the fight. He said the grease from the treatment mixed with his sweat during the match, causing a burning sensation in his eyes. In his post-fight interview, Davis showed frustration over the crowd's boos, saying his actions were a real reaction to the irritation, not a tactic to manipulate the flow of
the feeling was like in the ring. And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Explanation has received mixed reactions from fans and analysts, with some questioning whether the moment should have been ruled a knockdown, regardless of the reason behind it.
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need, what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And, you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure. But hopefully we could get it before... Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not going to be next.
Well, what is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
What the hell happened to Gervonta Tank Davis, huh? He got some grease in his hair. It was the lady that she put too much grease in my hair, and that's the reason why I took a knee. I ain't lying to y'all. Why y'all booing me for? Y'all remember the movie Coming to America? Was Gervonta Tank Davis using the Soul Glow? It's just a Soul Glow, feeling all so silky smooth. Just let it shine through, baby. That gotta be one of the most embarrassing moments in boxing history. How the hell you go down saying that the grease, know what happened, that the grease, stop, it's not funny. Why y'all booing me? I'm telling you the truth. That woman put a lot of grease in my hair. Yo, damn Tanky.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his straightforward and often provocative commentary, has shared his thoughts on the controversy surrounding the Davis-Roach fight. While specific quotes from Smith aren't available in the sources provided, his general stance suggests that he advises caution for GervontaDavis regarding a potential rematch with Lamont Roach.
Roach, brother fought one hell of a fight This was a damn close fight. Gervonta taking a knee should have been a knockdown. Either way, Roach has skills, fought his ass off, deserves nothing but respect. He earned the boxing world's attention tonight. He has mine. Thought he'd be too small.
Presents a significant risk to GervontaDavis's undefeated record. The initial fight showed that Roach has the skill and strategy to effectively challenge Davis. Taking on Roach again could put Davis's position in the boxing world in jeopardy if he were to lose.
Picks on 3 fights taking place Saturday night at the Barclays Center in New York City between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, Gary Russell versus Jose Valenzuela, and Sandor Martin versus Alberto Puello. Gervonta Davis uses knocks somebody out inside of 85 punches because he's clearly capable of that. But I just see this as being a kind of fight where he's going to have to run him down. He's going to have to walk him down, rather, and he's going to have to throw some punches before he ultimately catches him. And that's how I view it. So I'm going to go with more on this particular.
Lamont Roach Jr.'s frequent calls for a rematch after their contentious majority draw on March 1st. GervontaDavis has made it clear that an immediate rematch is not part of his plans. The fight ended with one judge scoring it 115-113 in favor of Davis, while the other 2 judges had it even at 114-114. A significant moment in the fight occurred in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach, leading to debates about whether it should have been ruled a knockdown. Referee Steve Willis did not count it as such, a decision that...
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley expressed skepticism about Lamont Roach's chances in a rematch before their initial fight. Lampley pointed out Davis's combination of crafty boxing, southpaw style, clever footwork, and noticeable killer instinct. He also emphasized Davis's shocking punching power, comparing his knockouts to those of a young Mike Tyson. Lampley suggested that despite Roach being a highly skilled boxer,
for people in the sport, etc., etc., I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe...
Alberto Diaz, advisor to Lamont Roach Jr., acknowledged the significant challenge GervontaDavis presents, describing him as one of the world's top fighters. Diaz recognized Davis's impressive record and power, but also expressed confidence in Roach's abilities. He highlighted Roach's extensive experience, including his strong amateur background, and the improvements Roach has made since their previous encounters. Diaz believes that Roach's familiarity with Davis, along with his...
Sure. You're part of Lamont Roach's camp. Well, what's your official role with Lamont Roach?
I'm an advisor for him.
Okay, so you guide him on how to make certain decisions?
Correct.
Okay.
We've been together for many years since his pro debut back in the days at Golden Boy, and after we both parted ways, we hooked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting because now that you guys are not with Golden Boy, you're still together. So
absolutely,
you guys must have had a good relationship when you were at Golden Boy.
Always had a good relationship with him and his father, and obviously I'm honored and just honored to be a part of him. And when I got the call to continue working with him, it was a no-brainer for me.